What's going on, everybody? It's Ron Brown, LMT, in the building. Soul brother number one, soul brother number three. When Sheikh Denim is in the ill is in the building. I call myself soul brother number three because he called me out on it. He said James Brown is soul brother number one. He's soul brother number two. Now I'm soul brother number three, and I always pay my respects to those who came before me, which is James Brown, and also brother Sheikh Denim L is older than me. And I would say at this point wiser than me, because he has more years on me, and also maybe experience too. Brother done went into the military, brother done did this, that, went to Africa, came back. Man, he's done a lot. You know what I'm saying? So first of all, I hope to make it to his age and have that much experience, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So I always pay my respects to those who deserve the respect. So also I wanted to say, man, thank you for helping me build this platform, because it's no secret. Everyone who comes onto this platform is helping me build this platform. This platform was an idea I had almost 10 years ago. I was going to do this platform in the law school of Mecca. I went to a law B about this, and his nephew Doug. After that, I went to Law about it. It was approved in the 5% in the law school by the committee. However, I decided I'm not going to do it in a law school because I knew I wanted to have Moors on this platform, and I'm not going to have Moors with their fezzes on going into the law school and doing that like that, because we don't bring other teachings in a law house, just like I wouldn't bring Allah's teachings into Noble Drew Ali's house. So, just out of respect. So here I am doing this platform, New Yorker's Perspective, NYP Talk Show, online and also in person. And we have a bunch of different guests, different perspectives. Sheikh Denim Ill is now a regular. I really appreciate it, and we're going to go into Wizards, Warlocks, Spooks, and Holy Ghosts, Occult Part 2. So now we want to go into the deeper history, into the occult. What I've been researching and looking at is different parts of the world and their take on occult science. Like, for instance, India, Hinduism, they have a deeper occult science. Also, Thailand. I had no idea Thailand has a deeper occult science, but guess what? Through the martial arts, you see, when you see all these symbols and characters in martial arts, like in Thailand, they have like this I don't want to call it a dragon. It's like a warrior. It looks like an African mask. And it looks like devious, you know what I mean? Like evil.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying? So they have these different characters in martial arts, and I always thought, like, what is that? What's going on with that? What's the science with that? And I'm finding out that in all of these cultures all over the world, they all deal with some kind of occult science. All of them.
Especially, like you said, especially when you're talking combat, especially Southeast Asia, Cambodia, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia. They all got occult systems intertwined in the combat. All of them. And then when you go deeper, when you think about places like Mesopotamia, Chaldea, ancient Kemet, you know what I'm saying? Places like that where you're dealing with where you're coming from, because when you're talking about occult, you're talking about things like astrology, also numerology, those basic things, but there's also sacred geometry, cosmology. All of that stuff has its origin in much ancient times, but you can see it transported over into the Abrahamic faiths. You can see it. For instance, sacred geometry, right? The building of squares and circles and sacred geometry. But if you look at Christian churches today, you see sacred geometry in the mirrors, in the mirrors or the glass stained joints through the churches. You see the different sacred geometries, and sometimes you even see planetary signs and symbols. But if you're not a learned person, you might not know what you're even looking at.
Right.
Because there's an integration between the pagan, what I call the pagan sciences, and the Abrahamic religions. They borrow from them. So the occult, certain sciences of the occult is in the Abrahamic religions as well. You know what I'm saying? Influences. Astrology, the celestial sciences of Babylonia, Chaldea, Mesopotamia, Egypt, all of that stuff is transported later on into other things. And then you got to think about the science of Africa, West Africa. You know what I'm saying? Central Central Africa, South Africa, but mainly what we know and understand is coming out of West Africa, what we call today, like what we call voodoo, and in Santeria, which that whole science, that West African science or that spirituality, that influenced pretty much the Western world, the Caribbean in the Western world, like in a sense of, you know, transmitting certain traditions, and you can find it in most cultures on this side of the world.
Okay.
You can find remnants of it, like for instance, like the Bible, and the way the Bible is used in hoodoo, or the way it's used in Santeria, or the way it's used in other, you know, spiritual systems. But the power of it is prior to the Bible. You understand what I mean? The Psalms, when we study the science of the Psalms, we know that the Psalms actually has a root in ancient Kemet, coming from Amun-Ea.
Okay.
Wrote Psalms, wrote the book of Psalms, and so on and so. That's a possibility that the book of Psalms wasn't written by King David, but it was written by a much earlier source, which is why the Psalms are looked at as sorcery. The Psalms, I did a whole demonstration on Psalmic sorcery, how the Psalms are used as sorcery.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? But it has an earlier.
Can you give me an example of that?
Yeah, Psalms 91. Protection, certain things. You would use the Psalms for certain types of ritual. Some for protection, some for abundance, some for prosperity, some for beating a court case, some for beating jail. And you would use
92.
Psalms 91.
91.
Read it. Read the first opening chapter of Psalms 91. I know you're looking it up.
Yeah, it says, whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty.
Keep going.
Hold on, this thing is blocking me. Oh, yeah, okay. So whoever dwells within the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. Surely He will save you from the fowler's snare, from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. You will not fear. You will not fear. Okay. I see what that is. That's like an affirmation.
Yeah, it's a spell of it's a protection song. Now go to Psalms 106.
Psalms 106. Psalms 106. Praise the Lord, give thanks to the Lord, for He is good.
No, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. Psalms 109.
Psalms 109. 109. Psalms 10. Okay, hold on. Psalms 109. My God, whom I praise, do not remain silent, for people are wicked and deceitful, have opened their mouths against me. They have spoken against me with lying tongues.
Keep going, keep reading.
All right. With words of hatred, they surround me. They attack me without cause. In return for my friendship, they accuse me. But I am a man of prayer. They repay me evil for good and hatred for my friendship. Appoint someone evil to oppose my enemy. Let the accuser stand at its right hand. When he is tried, let him be found guilty, and may his prayers condemn him.
Keep going.
May his days be few. May another take his place of leadership. May his children be fatherless and his wife a widow. Oh my damn.
Wee. Keep going.
May his children be wandering beggars. May they be driven from their home, their ruined homes. May a creditor seize all he has. May strangers plunder the fruits of his labor. May no one extend kindness to him or take pity on his fatherless children. May his descendants be cut off, their names blotted out of the next generation. God damn.
Now, under the moon, at a certain time, in a certain condition, burning a certain candle, a certain color, and praying that prayer with that person's face in your mind or in that psalm, right in that prayer on that page. After you pray, you shut the book, or you take that psalm and you pray it, and you take that picture and you do some things with it, maybe wrap a black string around it, maybe do some other things, put it in a jar and some other things with it and go bury it somewhere.
Okay.
Do you see what that psalm is saying?
That psalm is kind of hard.
Bruh.
It's hard.
But your
it's
enemies
hard.
is harm. But somebody's trying to kill you though.
Right.
So these psalms have power. That's what they're for. Most people don't understand what the psalms really are. They're used. They're from a much older source than the Bible. So that's just one aspect of how the Abrahamic faiths had got certain things from earlier sources. That's magic. This is why I tell people Jesus was a mystic. Y'all get mad at me, but Jesus was a mystic. All the prophets was mystics. You know what I'm saying? Religion turned them into whatever, but these was mystics, man. These cats was dealing with elements. They was dealing with certain things, man. They were initiates.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So like when we thinking about the occult, it's just simply knowledge that we don't know nothing about, man. All of the celestial sciences. I mean, bro, we got so much. Ritual magic. What about ritual magic? Symbolism, ritual magic and symbolism. Old Canaanite magic, man. You know what I'm saying? The Canaanite magic, Egyptian, Mesopotamian magic, which transferred later on into the West through the Ordo Templi Orientis and the Golden Dawn and Aleister Crowley and all of these types of things. They borrowed from these ancient societies, man. You know what I'm saying? So
speaking of Aleister Crowley, he came out around the time like a lot of the let's say he came around like what the let me see
30s, 40s, 50s,
30s, 40s, and 50s, right? So
60s, yeah. He was friends with Ron Hubbard. He was friends with Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology, and he was also cool with a cat named Jack Parsons. Jack Parsons did an experiment to bring the devil into the world in California. He did an experiment and he cracked the portal, and something happened, but we don't know where Jack Parsons is in these days.
Okay. Now, what I'm thinking is around like the 1930s, like a lot of brothers at that time, like there was like I would say like an information renaissance, if you want to say, right. Yeah. So like you had Elijah Muhammad around that time, you had W.D. Farad around that time, you had Aleister Crowley, you had who else was it back then?
Man, Sweet Daddy Grace, Father Divine, you had a bunch
Sweet
of them.
Daddy Grace, Father Divine, Deuce Ali, was it?
Yep, Deuce Ali was around.
Yeah, who else?
Pascal Beverly Randolph was around earlier, but I think he got knocked off a little right at the turn of the 20th century into it as well.
So what that whole era, it seemed like it ushered in this paradigm that we're in right now.
Yeah, I would agree.
So where did that paradigm come from? I mean, where did that energy come from is what I'm
It
trying to
came
figure
from, it just came from where I just told you. It came from the ancient sources, but those Europeans had access to information that we didn't. They were able to travel. They can go to they could do things that we didn't have access to. Excavations. They can go places and do things that we just didn't have access to. Dr. John Henry Clark told you himself when I was going to school, I couldn't do what the European schools was doing. Most of my scholarship came from radical European scholars. You know what I mean? He's like, I give honors to Albert Churchward, Gerald Massey, Alvin Boyd Kuhn, because these are the radical European scholars that told the truth. And I have their stuff. You know what I'm saying? I have their things. Some of those brothers. Matter of fact, pull one out right here.
Oh, I have that book.
Yeah, Albert Churchward. Look what it says. Right here. Albert Churchward right there. Guess what it says? Introduction by John Henry Clark. You see what I'm saying? This is one of the scholars that Clark learned from. And this cat was no joke. Albert Churchward was a 33rd degree Mason, and he told the truth. And he got in trouble for it. And the same with the brother George G.M. James, who wrote Stolen Legacy. They murdered him in he got murdered. They killed him because of what he revealed in that book. Yeah, he revealed the Egyptian mystery system. He revealed what's inside the Masonic Lodge in that book. Yep.
Okay. So I wanted to take it back to give it more ground, more foundation, more context. I want to take it back. Okay, so we're dealing with the occult teachings, mysticism, etc. Right? So what is the difference between santeros, shamans, you know, all of these different groups, all these different titles?
Culture is the difference. Language and culture. A santero is no different to me than a shaman or a babalao or Ogun or a Hogun. You know what I'm saying? Like every culture has its own, what they call medicine. Every culture has it, and every culture has their own medicine, and every indigenous culture has an initiation system to become a shaman or to become a priest. It's not it's not something you just wake up and you a priest. You go through you go through things to get into that, and it's a handed down thing. It's mouth to ear. It's oral, and you learn ritual. You learn things from childhood. You're trained into these positions. You understand what I'm saying? There's a family. There's usually a family who are a line of priests or priestesses for generations. See what I'm saying? So, and it's the same way. A santero, you know what I mean? They do ritual. They use saints. Candomblé, Palo, they all use saints. But the expressions and the different methodologies come from the cultural aspect. Like Palo, they deal with a lot of Congolese or Congo or sub-Saharan African science. While Santero and Babalaos and all that, they dealing with West Africa. The Yoruba, you know what I'm saying? Or Benin, the homie, you know what I mean? Things of that nature. So it's different. And then you got systems like in the Aztecs or the Incas and you know, the shamans in those systems that use the plants, that use different plants for religious and spiritual purposes. Ayuska, peyote, you know what I'm saying? Shrooms. Yep. When I was in South Africa, I ran an ibogaine clinic. And ibogaine is a natural herb that comes from Cameroon. It's actually called the iboga, I-B-O-G-A, iboga plant. I had an ibogaine clinic in South Africa where we use the iboga plant to break heroin addiction. In 24 hours after an ibogaine treatment, in 24 hours, you would not. Your addictions is gone. The withdrawals is gone. Peace. The withdrawals is gone. Everything. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, see, with ibogaine, there's an 8-hour lapse because you can't walk around too much because you're under you're under in a hallucination state. Now the thing with ibogaine is when you're hallucinating, you can only hallucinate with your eyes shut. If you open your eyes, it's just regular. But when you shut your eyes, you begin to hallucinate. Your eyelids become your screen. The eyelids, inside of them, things come across your eyelids. Pictures, your childhood, where your first trauma started, comes across. Yeah, so things get solved. Ibogaine works on 5 parts of your brain at one time, very similar to a shroom. How peyote works and ayahuasca works on the brain. See, these things are going to be used for mental health. I've been saying this over 20 years. Eventually, they're going to use these things for mental health. But what's going to happen is the pharmaceutical companies are they don't want that to happen. So they're going to start killing people and trying to destroy the shrooms. But you can't destroy the shrooms because the shrooms are divine. Shrooms, they have their own network. Like shrooms talk. There's a whole underground network going on wherever shrooms and trees are. There's a whole underground network, a mycelium network. These things are sentient beings.
Can you say that one more time, brother?
They're sentient beings. The mushrooms, the trees, they have a whole mycelium communication underground. They talk to each other, brother. Plants can talk. Plants can harm. Plants will tell you when a dickhead is coming around. Plants scream. Plants holler. If you pluck a plant, it screams. A plant is alive. It's a living being. Don't you know George Washington Carver said that everything I learned from the plant was because they told me how to use them? I made 250 damn inventions from a peanut because they told me how to use it.
I think that's interesting, King Mathallah, peace God, because I was actually doing a knowledge to trees and how you could talk to a tree and you could say something to a tree and the tree actually responds and like moves.
Yes.
Like
our ancestors knew these things, brother. That's why they would sleep in trees or sleep on a tree or near the tree.
And shouts out to B, Queen B. You watching right now, Queen B. Queen B's father deals with the with like botany and all of that, you know, growing in the garden and all of that. The way he treats plant life is like a baby almost, like. And
they're alive, like, brother.
Yeah,
they're alive and they talk. They've done studies. They showed a study where a man came up and literally cut a leaf off the plant. Check this out. He came back again to the same plant, and they had the plant hooked up to this stuff. The plant was screaming, bro. Like the plant was like, "This motherfucker coming again? He just cut my shit." Pretty like the plant could identify the person who had just harmed him. When he came back, the plant was not him. The plant could identify him. See, everything has spirit. Even in the sciences of hoodoo and Santeria, you have certain people who will tell you, "Yo, you got a tree in your backyard? You got a big tree in your backyard, man. That tree is dangerous. You got to cut it down. You got to remove it because trees contain spirit. Things can live in them. Like they already have their own spirit. Everything has a soul, man. If it's alive, it has soul."
All right, I want to talk about soul before we go deeper into the occult. I asked different people what the soul was. They explain it, but we need like simple mathematics. Like
this is the soul right here.
The physical body.
That's the soul. No, the expression that I'm doing through my physical body is the soul. The expression that I use, the way I use this vehicle to express my personality and all that, that's soul. Not the body, but what I'm using to use, what I'm doing, all this, me jumping around, laughing and joking, that's soul. But I'm using a body so you can see the soul expressions. If I didn't have a body, you couldn't see soul. You can't see it. You can't see the physical soul because it's unseen. But you can see the brain where it is housed. Mm-hmm. The brain, but the soul is housed where the brain, the soul is the spiritual counterpart to the brain. It's housed there. Whenever you see somebody, if you ever see somebody leave a body, you don't see them leave through here. The spirit, you see it leave through their head. So boom, right through the head. Shoot right out. You never see it come through the heart, or it always come right out of here. Shoot right up. So what you're seeing is the expressions of the soul, the way I reason, the way I'm demonstrating, the way I'm talking to you is soul. The expressions of the physical form is the manifestations of my soul at work, my understanding, my reasoning, my kata. I'm physically doing it, but what's pushing the physical? What am I thinking when I'm doing a kata? What's on my mind when I'm doing those physical things? Because even though I'm just throwing a punch, but when I throw my punch and do certain other things with it, and my face changes, you're seeing the expression of the soul at work.
Mm-hmm.
That's what soul is.
Would it not be like just your psychology?
Yes, bro. What does psyche mean?
Okay.
Psyche is right. It's a Greek word for soul. So when they say the study of psychology is the study of the brain, no, it's the study of the soul. See, the European understands the application of psychology. While you go to college and learn theoretical psychology and the theories of psychology and all that, the theory, somebody's learning the application of psychology, how to actually utilize it. See, psychology is a weapon. See, Chuck D told you a long time ago when he asked the question, who stole the soul? They made a song, Public Enemy made a song called Who Stole the Soul? You see what I'm saying? So the soul can be easily manipulated, easily, because the soul is already, the soul is a conscious frequency. And it can be manipulated if the person isn't aware of their own soul. Possession, addiction, so on and so forth. I mean, demons are always around us, but we choose our demons, brother. The demons just don't jump on you. You choose to allow them and let them in. You invite them in.
All right, now explain demon from how you see it.
Demon is your own lower thoughts. You create your own demons. You make them your condition or conditions.
So would you say your own lower thought would be on the same frequency of other lower thoughts, and y'all share that same frequency, and it's just a mass of lower thoughts?
Yup.
Yeah.
Yup. Just a mass cloud of thought.
Yeah.
You have to be very careful, and I say it all the time. Yo, guard your mind, mind your mind before somebody else minds your mind. Mm-hmm. Mind your mind. Be very in tune with your mind. And when I touch this, I'm not necessarily saying that the mind is here, because it's not. This is your brain. But we associate mind and brain. Sometimes the mind and the brain, they're two separate things, because you can't find mind. You can't point to mind anywhere on the body. I can't point to it. It ain't here. Mind ain't over here. Mind is here. It's all of this. You're in mind. Somebody said that the universe is mental. It's all mental.
Mm-hmm.
Man is mental. And mental, tying back to spirit, tying back to breath, tying back to air, tying back to consciousness, tying back to an unseen reality. So the authentic man is an unseen reality, but he's seen and heard. But he can't be seen in his true form. Somebody say that, don't they? In religion, ain't that what they say about Allah? He's seen and heard everywhere, but he can't be seen because he's unlike his creation and blah, blah, blah. Well, so are you. You're unseen too. You're the unseen reality, but seen and heard all over. Right. Because you have a vehicle to express that unseen reality through.
Indeed, indeed. So let's take it back to your introduction. We already spoke about your introduction. Did we speak about your introduction to occult?
Yeah.
Yeah, we spoke about that. So right now, as far as occult is concerned, what would you say would be the more scientific type of occultism? Would you say would you say Sufism? Does Sufism have an occult background or big? Oh yeah,
Of course it does. Of course it does. Prophet Muhammad and Ali were mystics. So I'm saying, so Sufis have lodges, brother, just like Masons have lodges. The Masonic Lodge and the Sufi Lodge. See, Sufism is the secret to Western Freemasonry. Sufism is the jewel of a lot of Western societies, secret societies, came out of Sufism because of the Crusades in the time in the Holy Lands. The Knight Templars, they ran into the Sufis. You know what I'm saying? That's why they got the term Baphomet, the science of Baphomet, which was actually a code word for Muhammad, Mahomet. In that time, Baphomet was a code word for Muhammad. That's dealing in the science
but
of symbol.
This is why I'm saying. Remember, I was saying in the 1930s there was like some information renaissance. Baphomet and Muhammad. If you think about what you just said, think about it. Aleister Crowley, Baphomet, and if you think about Muhammad, we're talking about W.D. Farad, and Elijah Muhammad, right?
Yep. And in Sufism, a lot of the science of Sufism deals with what we call zikr, fasting and zikr. Zikr is where you're repeating a word or a phrase, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. You know what I'm saying? That's what zikr is. And there's a lot of different things to zikr. And the power of zikr is in the amount of repetitions, pardon me, that you use in your zikr. Peace, Brother Rakeem, peace. The amount of repetitions that you use in your zikr is what empowers the individual and the zikr. So if you do 1,000 la ilaha illallahs, you won't go to jail. You'll be free or something. You know what I mean? So it's just like the Psalms. It's like the book. It's like Psalms. Using the Psalms in the Quran is the same thing. There's certain chapters of the Quran that you can use for black magic, against black magic, and all of that type of stuff. So all of the scriptures have ties back into ways to deal with magic because they're coming from sources of magic. But see, and people, oh brother, you talking that satanic stuff, magic. Who said it was satanic? Some European told you that, and you bought into the reality of it being satanic, and it's okay because that's the reality you live in. But he's using your satanic science against you, and he's benefiting. You know what I'm saying? So in Sufism, there's a lot of things. They have a thing called bayat. In Sufism, they believe that you need a guide, which you do. You know, if you're new into this deen, Sufism, you do need a guide to guide you, to give you certain understanding, to take you certain place. It's like karate, just like karate. Once you get to a certain point, you don't need that guide no more, but you will still consult your master.
Right.
Even though you're at a point where you don't, quote unquote, need him, but you will still consult him. With the Sheik in the Murid, there's a rabat that's built. And that's built from, it's a heart-to-heart connection, right? So the Sheik is so in tune with his students that he can call them from here telepathically, right? And they'll answer. This is all spiritual science, but bro, we do the same thing. You think about somebody, and then your cell phone ring, and it's the person on the phone.
Well, let's talk about what happened today. First off, I don't know how you got that blue on. I don't know if you wore it because the show is like Yankees colors blue, but
bro, I don't like the Yankees, bro.
You don't like the you know, I love the Yankees, even though I don't watch baseball. Anything that has to do with the Bronx or Harlem, I rock it with. Even Jim Jones. Shouts out to Jim Jones.
Yo, you a funny
I
dude,
can't go against home team, man.
Hey man, I ain't mad at you, bro. I ain't mad at you.
but so you just threw that blue on. I kind of just not kind of this blue wasn't playing. I just threw it on actually. So
yeah, bro. We didn't plan nothing, man. It's money to take mine. It just is what it is, B.
Yeah.
You know, it just is what it is. I got up because when I was resting. Then I looked at the clock. I was like, oh man, it's almost 7 o'clock. I got up because it's hot. I ain't got an air conditioner, and I threw my shirt on.
Yeah.
And here
And
we
I'm
are.
just like snatching. Oh yeah, this hat looks good. Let me put that on. Right,
Yeah,
right,
so
exactly.
you on point. It's on point.
Right. So telepathically, like you just said, telepathically.
Yeah, man. Telepathy is real, man. It's all real. We do it all the time. We just don't think. We just don't consciously think about it. And with our children, it's extremely strong. If you got kids, y'all know what I mean. You'll be sitting in the house, and your child face will pop in your mind, and you call them on the phone, and they be like, "Dad, how you like? I was just thinking about you, Dad. How did you know? Like, I was just gonna call you. Like, how did you know to call me? Like, I was just about to call you, Dad. I'm like, I know. They be like, how you know? Because you called me. Now I'm picking up the phone to talk to you. You already called me, so I'm letting you know that I got your call.
Indeed.
They
So,
don't.
so what would you say as far as the occult? What would be more logical for someone like a 5%er coming from a 5%er background that's dealing with logic and mathematics, and being right and exact? And if you can't show and prove it, then is there's no value to
Numbers,
this.
science, anything dealing with sacred geometry and numbers. Because numbers, you can't go wrong with mathematics. Mathematics is the only science that's right and exact. It's 100% right and exact. It can check itself. It can correct itself. All that. You know what I'm saying? So if you understand the science of numbers and using those numbers, and then you integrate that with horrific science, which is Arabic numerology, and the letters in the number system, you know what I'm saying? And the Hebrew letters in the number system, you on to something.
Okay, so what I mean is is there like a specific practice? Like,
I
let's
just I
say
just I just I just gave you one.
you said heretic,
Horrific,
horrific.
HURUF, which is the science, which is the study of the Arabic letters and the numerology that's attached to each letter. And the same with the Hebrew. And then you're dealing with regular numerology, the regular science of numbers, you know what I'm saying? And then you may even want to link and study some gematria. Yeah, HURUF. Did you look that up?
Hold on.
HURUFIC.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff is coming up. Here it is. Yeah, here it is. It says horrificism. It's a Sufi movement based on mysticism.
Yep.
That's
Keep
it.
going.
Let me see.
Tell them to have them explain it. It's gonna be dealing with the abjad. It's gonna be dealing with numbers. It's gonna be dealing with the letters. The study of the letters and their mystical meanings. You got sun letters. You got moon letters. You got shadow letters. All that. You can use these when you make talismans. When you make certain different types of amulets and so on and so forth, man.
Rumi, you know who Rumi is, right?
Yeah, Rumi was a Sufi. He was a Sufi.
Wow. Okay. This sounds like the key is seven seal book. The Quran is the Kabbalic system of let. Okay, you were on point. You're right on there. You basically explained everything there. Okay. God is embodied in words and the 28 letters of the Arabic alphabet. Sounds familiar.
Yeah. Interesting, right?
Sounds familiar. Okay, so give me some other examples of occultism, or occult teachings that people can look up that
He's right.
that I would say fascinates you. A lot of
Okay.
high science like this, you got to keep preserved for yourself. Some might not understand, but you got the understanding. That's the point, right?
Indeed. He's
Indeed.
100% correct. Because you can create devils with this stuff. Yep.
Abjid, the Arabic.
Abjad.
So
I said that. I said that. The Abjad. Yep. That's the numerical system. Ibn Arabi. That's another one. Yep. Great Sufi. Indeed, brother. Ibn Arabi. Yeah. Ibn Arabi wrote a whole manual. He wrote a whole manual of occult sciences with talismans, everything. Talismans is in it, actual spells. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Even Arabi was a bad dude, man.
So
Powerful.
as far as the talent, as far as the archetypes or talisman, the symbolism, are those things there to help basically stimulate something in your brain to open up? Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. Yep. Exactly. So now you asked me a question about what was my favorite science.
No. So what I was saying is, what would be a an occult practice that you would say is the most fascinating?
Oh, okay. The most fascinating occult practice to me is being able to create your own methodologies. Understanding the science where you can actually create your own what I call a grimoire, or your own book of rituals and spells and so on and so forth. To me, that's the highest form to me, because now I'm actually in an operating form. I'm operating. I'm applying. See, that's the highest form to me, is being able to apply the things that I learned, the things that I know that's in me, to be able to apply them and to see results. Not just talking about hoodoo or voodoo or whatever, but actually experiencing it, actually doing it, actually seeing the results. I love visualization. I love meditation. I love visualizing the Ba, which is it's an Arabic letter. You know what I'm saying? And it looked like it's shaped like a boat with a dot under it. But the Ba has powerful significance, just like the Aleph. The Aleph is the axis of destiny in the Arabic. So you visualize an Aleph, or you visualize, a Ba or whatever, and they have meaning. You can visualize these things and turn them into parts of your body. For instance, if you throw a punch, that punch can become, if I say Ba, that punch becomes empowered, because the Ba is going to be extended through into the punch. Like, it's hard to explain, but the visualization makes it. Yeah, yep. The visual. If I see the brick broke before my hand, before I touch it, if my hand is already through the brick, it's going to break before I touch it, right?
Yeah.
So when I
used to break boards and all of that, and visualize and breathe and all of that. Send energy from my chi, from my center through my arm to the boards, and break and break the boards. Yeah.
And let me ask you a question. Before you did that, did you already see the board broke before you even hit it?
Yeah. Because that's how they teach you how to do that.
Exactly.
Right. And then of course you got the whatever.
Yeah, the kia is the kia. That's the release of the force.
Right.
When you kia, that's the release. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we kia without kiaing in the occult.
Oh, okay.
The same way you use that, the same way you go, we do that without making the kia, just by doing this. Because what's coming out of it already, or what's being done, it's already in it. See, I just drew a sigil in the air, right? So I do things like that. Like I'll somebody may come around me, a certain type of entity, I'll spit on the ground and draw a particular sigil with my foot in the spit. Right in front of them. They don't know what I'm doing. But I've just shut some shit down, trust me. See, this science works on frequencies.
Now speaking of doing this, right, and basically sending energy out, is that liking to Reiki?
Yep. Similar. I'm a Reiki master. I got my degrees in South Africa in 2008, 2009. But Reiki is something that you don't, Reiki is already in you. Reiki is it's already in you. It's just certain things you got to do. And if you have a knowledge of it, it's already there. Reiki already works. All you got to do is put your hands together, pray, do certain things and bring it down, and then just say, Reiki, do what you got to do. Work. I just put my hands on them, just work. I don't even touch people. I put my hands close to them. I done have people start crying, going to dream states, all types of shit. Releasing. I don't know why I'm crying. Oh my God, I just see a lot of purple and all these colors. Oh my God, I'm just tears and shit. I'm giving her towels and shit, man. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Reiki, we spoke about that. We broke down so you wanted to go a little in depth about the history. Hold on. I just want to read what you said here. Just want you to read. I just want to go through this real quick. Pardon me, y'all.
But we kind of did it, God. We kind of did it though earlier when I was talking about the old, Mesopotamia, Chaldea, Egypt, Babylonia. This is where all of these things come from and how they've transferred into Western civilization. And they've transferred into Western civilization through societies, through Europeans in these secret societies. People like Aleister Crowley and other Europeans that over the time period preserved these traditions and did other things with them. And now you see in the West, you see OTO, you see Thelema, you see the Hermetic organizations, Golden Dawn. You see it's a bunch of magical, the Rosicrucians, all of that. The Rosicrucians, that's a Kemetic thing. That's Kemetic mysteries. You know what I'm saying? But they came through the Rosy Cross, a Christian mystical system. But they borrowing from ancient Kemet that the Bible says is satanic and polytheist. Right?
Okay, so OTO, Thelma, all that's all Crowley's not Crowley, but that's Crowley was a part of that. I think
he was a part of those. Yeah. He created Crowley created Thelema. He created he created Thelema though. Yeah, Thelema was his organization.
Exactly. So and then he was a part of the OTO before that, I think.
Yeah. And he was a part of other things as well. He was a part of Madame Blavatsky's Theosophical Society, Theosophy. Madame
Blavatsky, right?
Yeah, Blavatsky. Yep.
The European woman.
Yeah.
What did she have the title Bey or something like that?
She learned from a guy named Bey, supposedly Jamal Afghani Den Bey or something like that. She learned supposedly had a guy that she learned from in the East. You know what I'm saying? And again, here's the connection. Remember what I said to you earlier about Sufism is the jewel of Western secret societies? So here it is, Blavatsky telling you Jamal Afghani, he's a damn Sufi.
Yeah.
She learned from a Sufi. The Sufis deal with the jinn. They deal with jinn. Many Sufi sheikhs will tell you, I have jinn that work for me. I got jinn that work for me. You a sheikh in Islam, but you working with jinn? Oh, brother, that's satanic. No, some jinn are Muslims. Some jinn are Sufis, some are Buddhists, some are atheists. Yeah, jinn. They have families like me and you. Got families. Daughters, sons, they got families.
So explain that. Explain what a jinn is.
A jinn is a frequency that's alive, just like you, on another dimensional level. And they were here before man. And they have children, generations. And some of them have even made it at times with human beings. So you can see there's times, I forgot the sister's name. Forgot her name, but it says she was half jinn and human. I can't remember her name in history, but it's a couple of them.
Okay. So that's an interesting claim there. You saying jinns is like a whole other in another dimension. They're actual human. Now, these jinn, right? Do they have any connection to the planets?
Yes. Just like we do. Yes. Matter of fact, in the Quran, it says, for verily I have made man and jinn to worship me and to worship me alone. So man and jinn are to worship Allah. Therefore, jinn can't be no greater than man, and man is no greater than jinn. So why can't you work together? But some jinn are on the opposite side. Yep.
So can you explain Sephiroth and Klithoth?
You're talking about the Kabbalah.
Right.
The Kabbalah has 22 paths. There's 22 paths on the Kabbalah. And the Sephiroth is just one of them. You know what I'm saying? There's Malkuth, there's Chakma, there's a whole bunch of paths on the Kabbalah. And if you look at Kabbalah, it's really the makeup of man. Your left side, your right side, the head, the bottom. The symbol of the Kabbalah is you.
Okay. Okay. So you know, as far as the Kabbalah, you have I think it's called the Tree of Life. I think it's
that's what the Kabbalah is called, the Tree of Life.
Tree of Life. It's the Tree of Life. So in the Tree of Life, you have the Sephiroth and then you have the Glithoth. So the Sephiroth would be the good part of the Tree of Life, and the Glithoth would be the negative part of life, of the Tree of Life.
well, yeah. I mean, you can look at it like that, but also the Sephiroth also has like a connotation to because of the travel, because of the pathways on the Kabbalah. Do you have an image of the Kabbalah? Do you have an image of one? Are you looking at one?
In my head.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, no, the Sephiroth is like where the Sephiroth is used for like where the emanations through which the emanations or divine emanations manifest themselves. There's 10 emanations through the Sephiroth that the divinity manifests itself through. You know what I'm saying? So
Supreme mathematics is the Tree of Life understood properly. Yo, Ron Do, yo, peace, God. Elaborate on that right quick if you can in the comments. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I can see that. I can see where he's coming from. I can draw that up. I can see that. Because when you think about it, you got to think about what the Sephiroth is. When you look at the Kabbalah and you looking at the points, how many points is it? 0 to what?
9. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm right and exact. Hold on. So
it's 10, brother. The Tree of Life is 10. There's 10.
Oh, hold on. Hold up. I don't mean to. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, it is.
But but people science though, but it's connected by 22 paths. And 22 itself is a master number. And it can start, bro. You can use it for a map of your human psyche, a map of creation. You can use that map in a bunch of ways. A ladder for mystical ascent, Jacob's ladder. You can use it. So when he's saying that it can be it can be shown and proved through, or supreme mathematics could be seen, properly understood. He's right, exact. I see that. I see that.
Okay.
And you got to remember each seraph links to planets, elements, and angelic orders and divine names as well. So those 10 to the 22 paths, each of them have a link to a planet, to an angel, to an element, to angelic orders, to divine names, all that.
Well, this is interesting. The top of the Tree of Life, it says the crown Kether is 1.
Kether.
Wisdom, Chokhmah, wisdom is 2.
Chokhmah. Yep. CHOK. That's what I was mentioning to you earlier.
And Bana is understanding. Interesting stuff. Oh wow, look at that.
You got the Ain Sof, you got the Sephiroth, you got the Shekinah, you got the Tikkun. You know what I'm saying? You got everything you saying. Chakma, Malkuth.
Okay.
And when you break down Kabbalah, break it down. Ka, Ba, break it down. You know what I'm saying? Because it's Kemetic. It's actually Kemetic. It's actually the Shetat Neter or the Shetat Neter. ShetauT space Neter. That's where they borrowed the Kabbalah from. She taught Netter, the real tree of life.
Okay. So I need to crack open that metal netter again.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure. So how did the ancient Kemetics get, how did the Kabbalists get the information from the metal netter? How was that? I guess that's like a history lesson there.
Yeah, remember the Kabbalah is quote unquote Jewish mysticism or Hebrew mysticism. So if it's Hebrew mysticism, then 9 times out of 10, we're coming out of Canaan, Mesopotamia, Babylon, somewhere. Wherever those Jews got a quote unquote history of occupation and being enslaved is where that's where it's all came. Remember, they stole everything they got. Think about it. You ever see the Jews do their rituals, their whatchamacallit? I forgot, I can't name it, I can't think of the ritual. But they take a chicken, a live chicken.
Oh yeah. I remember seeing that.
Who else do that?
Yeah, Santeros and Santerias, yeah. For sure.
A couple other societies do that. So that's showing you. Remember I said the Abrahamic faiths borrowed from quote unquote pagans, the pagan religions and the pagan sciences. So you can see bits and pieces of it in all of the Abrahamic religions. You can see bits and pieces of it. You know what I mean? You can see it. If you understand the signs and the symbolism and what's really happening, you can see it.
Indeed. On that note, we're gonna stop here because you basically took it to knowledge the born, from knowledge the born with that right there. Real quick, modern day Kabbalah was made in the West, but is based off the older Hebrew mysticism, like Marakavita via mysticism.
He's saying macabre, brother. I think he's saying macabre. The macabre mysticism. Yeah.
Okay. Macabre mysticism, and they got various sciences being in Canaan and Babylon.
So he just confirmed what I just said. He just confirmed it. That's what I just said. He just confirming it. Indeed. The God is on point. The young God is on point, man.
Peace.
That, brother.
What's your physical degree, God? King Math of Law. All right. Denham, Professor
So that's somebody who know me from a long time ago right there. That's peace. Wow. Damn, I ain't used Professor Self since 2006.
Peace from Now See. Peace. All right. On that note, we're gonna close out King Math of Law. I guess he bounced before we can figure out his physical degree.
The young God, I know he's younger than me. I wanted to just tell him to stay on the path, man, and never limit himself and keep studying what he's doing. Keep doing what he's doing, man.
Yeah. I'm the you that drew.
Oh, peace. Yo, man, where you been, man? Yo, take my number down, 716-770-8521. This is my man. This is my little brother right here, man. He always changes his name up. He's a hell of an artist. This cat, man, this dude is incredible, man. Oh, man. I miss you, brother. I ain't talked to you in a long time, man. We got to link up, man. It's a good dude right there, man. Wow.
Peace, everybody in the chat.
Peace.
Thank you. And we're out. Peace.